Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 7. So we have just been on a 1 week's break without an episode from The Flash, with a return from that short break being in just a couple of days from now, with what will serve as like the farewell episode to Cisco as a regular from the show. As we have said, he will return at some points in the future, whether it's, episode 1 of Season 8 or whatever it might be, with it also being reported he will even be back as soon as the finale for this season. Now, he hasn't been seen in Vancouver or on set when they were filming the finale, because I think The Flash is wrapped now. But yeah, he's meant to be in the finale according to reports when they initially said he was leaving. But of course, this week's upcoming episode will commence the next story, or as the showrunner for The Flash, Eric Wallace, would put it, or just say, graphic novel for The Flash. Now, we know there are going to be some Godspeed antics going on in this back half of the season, along with the return of a couple of characters like Jay Garrick and Nora West Allen, as well as the debut of Bart Allen, aka Impulse. But while we know those characters are showing up and everything like that, the story itself for the back half of this season is unknown, and will be interesting, just an interesting thing in general to find out what they're doing, what they're playing, and also maybe what it sets up going forward. Now, as we know, along with Carlos Valdez, who plays, Cisco leaving the show, we are also losing Tom Cavanagh, who plays the various versions of Wells, as well as Eobard Thawne, aka Reverse Flash, on The Flash. Of course, we have this new timeless Wells version out there for potential returns in the future, which I'm sure we'll see, and I'm sure it's an option on the table. But as I said, Reverse Flash, that's the big thing. Now, the last time we saw him in the present was in the Exorcism of Nash Wells episode, in which his spirit, I guess you would call it, was extracted or exorcised from Nash Wells' body and went up into the sky, or whatever it was, the abyss, whatever you want to call it. And as we know, it has been revealed he will return as Reverse Flash at some point later in the season, for this season. But what about after that? Well, Tom Cavanagh, who, as I said, played those characters, revealed some information to TV Line where a future return past Season 7 for the character of Reverse Flash was brought up. And, this is what he had to say. I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but Arrowverse executive producer Greg Berlanti and I always felt that when Grant Gustin does decide to depart the show, it'd be hard to imagine a scenario other than Batman comes home to Joker and Flash and Reverse Flash settle things. It'd be hard to imagine a different storyline, and that's all I'm going to say right now. Now, even though he does say, I'm not going to say this is going to happen, I think we all know that there would be a plan in place by the current staff on the show, as well as Greg Berlanti and the higher-ups, for that to be the final season story, or for it, at the very least, be an aspect of the final season of The Flash. Obviously, there is a debate what season that will be, what's the final season? Will Season 8 be the last? Will Season 9? Will it go beyond that? And, well, that's a question that should actually get answered in the next few months. And that question of, is it ending at Season 8, could literally be answered with, well, silence. If nothing comes out by, I would say, August or September at the latest, then Season 8 won't be the last. But, yeah, we should know within a few months whether or not The Flash Season 8 is the last. We know that Grant Gustin was in talks to extend his contract to Season 9, but that was only mentioned in passing in some random interview and hasn't been touched back on in other interviews. But then again, Grant hasn't done that many interviews due to COVID and stuff like that, so it's hard to really, chuck that into, speculation as to whether it's not happening or not. But anyway, let's go back to the Reverse Flash side of things. What should the Reverse Flash story be for this final season, whatever number it might be? The way that I've always seen it play out is that it closes off the story between the two characters of the Flash and Reverse Flash and makes a full circle or loop connecting to the beginning of the show in Season 1. So by the end of Reverse Flash's role in the final season, we see the two run back to the night of Nora Allen's murder, with our present day Barry becoming the version we saw tell the Season 1 Barry to not save Nora from that Season 1 finale. The cool thing with that, though, is that we could see what happens after that, sequence. We know that the Flash leaves and Reverse Flash gets stuck there, and we can see what happens to Barry, and due to this most likely taking place in the series finale or the last episode ever, we could just see the legacy of the Flash afterwards and what Barry does. It doesn't have to be this massive thing. It just has to be pretty simple and just give us a hint as to what would go on, past that point. I think that would be a good way, if not a great way, to end the show after you close that loop with Reverse Flash and the Flash, and that night from when Barry was a child and Nora is killed. Now, the big thing that comes up is originally like they disappeared after a fight and that was meant to be around Crisis and stuff. They've reworked that, so I would be interested to see what the catalyst or the main reasoning for Reverse Flash running back. Maybe he finds out certain things and decides that's the way to go to kill Nora, or maybe it is to go back and specifically kill Barry like it was initially. It'll be interesting to see what they would do there if they go down this route, and I think they will, or something around this like general story or this general scenario. But I would be fairly interested to see like what leads to that point and various things like that. I think it could be a pretty epic thing, but also just satisfying to viewers that have been watching since season 1. Now, something in the final season that I'm sure a lot of people would want to see, or at least some sort of recognition or focus on it, whether it's minimal or maximum, people just want something relating to it, and that's Reverse Flash Origins. Now, there was an episode in season 2 where we see an Eobard Thawne from before his like main encounters with Barry and going back and killing Nora and stuff like that. That was in season 2. It was for one episode. That's all we really saw of that character. And people wanted to see more of that. But I think it was hard to really do a Reverse Flash Origins if it wasn't connecting really to the main portion of the show. So you really only could have done that in season 1. But a lot of that isn't really about necessarily the origins of Reverse Flash. It's about something else and him getting back to where he's from. I don't think he necessarily had to learn about him at that point, but it was something that I think we all wanted to see at some point in the future. And what a better time to do it than in the final season, where you're probably going to have Reverse Flash there for some sort of story aspect. Now, I guess the big question is, when I said like do you do it in like a minimal way or do you go all out? Do you just have one episode dedicated to Reverse Flash Origins rather than like multiple cuts to his origin over a few episodes? So the multiple cuts over those few episodes would just equal the amount of time if they just dedicated an episode to it. So you just have like Eobard Thawne before he came Reverse Flash, everything like that, just a full episode dedicated to it. It'd be a big episode, but I think it'd be one that people would love. And honestly, even if people had dropped the Flash, whether they dropped it in season 3 or season 5, or even after season 1, what it might be, or even during season 2, they would watch just this specific episode. If it is almost like a self-contained Reverse Flash Origins episode, I think people would love it. And I think it's almost like a silly idea not to do it. I mean, they've proven that they can do the future episodes. We saw the Nora episode. That was all in the future and had some futuristic stuff going on. So why can't you do it with Reverse Flash? Legends has done it multiple times as well. If Legends can do it, Flash can do it. Now, with the Reverse Flash Origin stuff, this brings up a big question. Matt Letcher, does he return? I think, well, if you're doing Reverse Flash Origins or any sort of Reverse Flash that exists before him getting, that night where he takes the actual Wells identity, then yeah, it has to be Matt Letcher. Like, I don't know how you do it. And wouldn't this be a really cool idea is if we had both of the versions in the final season? So you have the Tom Cavanaugh version, which I guess you could say is the main Reverse Flash, because it's the Reverse Flash that Barry has versed all these times. All these times that Barry has taken on Reverse Flash in any sort of battle, it's been the Tom Cavanaugh version because he was there after Barry became the Flash and he looked like Wells and stuff like that. But then you could have the Matt Letcher version, which is that Origins version, which Barry could take on as well throughout this season, or maybe even has a better relationship with that, but then maybe we see the decline into that Reverse Flash mentality and just darkness and evil state of mind, but that younger version has. We can see Matt Letcher's version sort of decline into that. I think it'd be fairly cool to have both of those versions and just to see those two different versions of Reverse Flash on screen. The Origin version and I guess the present day version. I think that'd be a really cool way to do it. And that would be like fan service at the highest degree because people want to see Matt Letcher back, but people also love the Tom Cavanaugh version. So you get the best of both worlds. So why wouldn't you do it? I think that's just obvious. Obviously, like money comes into it, but I think like just don't do any other villains. Just do these two. Just do these two for the back half. No filler episodes. It would be amazing. And Matt Letcher wants to return to the role. He'd love to play Reverse Flash again. So why not give him the opportunity? But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this whole Reverse Flash thing. Let's cross our fingers, cross our toes, cross our tongues. Actually, no, take that last bit out. That's a bit weird. Fingers and toes. Let's cross them. Let's see. Let's hope all this stuff happens. But to finish off the video, in the article from TV Line when that Tom Cavanaugh quote thing came up, they also gave a little tease for that Goodbye Cisco episode coming out in just a couple of days. And TV Line revealed that there is a really nice montage / trip down memory lane in the episode. So I think it will be like maybe like a best of Cisco sort of montage thing, if you want to call it. That should be a nice moment. I'm looking forward to seeing it, even though it's going to be sad to see Cisco go at the same time. Actually, no, we need Cisco back for that episode where we have both of the reverse flashes there, and he can go, not doppelganger, but he can sort of freak out that he might get stabbed in the heart by two different versions of vibrating hands. Just a little thought. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome. We could drop a like on it, show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on what we went over in this video and everything like that. I'm always curious to hear what you guys have to say. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.